Hey everyone, good evening. I just realized that I don't have the air conditioning on. Let me do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are just a few weeks shy of Christmas. Y'all believe that? Y'all believe that? I feel like we just had Valentine's, then we just rolled into summer, and then we just roll into like constant hurricanes, and now we're rolling into fall, which means that Christmas is like in 3 weeks, which is crazy. The year has been flying by. Christmas is in 64 days. 64 days. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for holiday cheer and merriment? Are you ready for Christmas sales, for holiday sales if you are a business owner? Are you ready for Christmas in all the ways, or even individually? I mean, you don't have to own a business to be concerned about Christmas. So I'm just making sure that my sound is good, that I am live everywhere that I need to be live, and then we're going to get started. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining me live or on the replay. I appreciate you guys as well who also catch me on the replay. If you can't catch me live, I do appreciate you. I have not gone live in about 4 weeks. If I had missed this week, it would have been 4 weeks, which is crazy, right? Because I had a period where I was going live every single week for 40 something weeks. I think I made it to like week 42 or 45. And then I broke it, and I needed to because I had a lot going on with work at that time. And then this year, I didn't allow more than 2 weeks to pass without me going live. And so last week was week 3. And so I said, you know what? I can't let another week pass. That would have been a whole month almost of me not hopping on and talking to you guys. And I missed you. I missed the interaction, right? So I have been taking sort of a break from online. Life is picking up, it's constantly moving, and at the same time, I am trying to incorporate rest more because I have been very poor at that. And burnout is not something that is fun, it's not cute, it feels horrible. And I am trying to keep that at bay. I may actually be in the midst of that probably right now. But nonetheless, I am taking measures so that I don't drown in it, right? And so that's part of the reason why I took some time off. Now, does this mean that I am going to resume going live every single week as of this week? Absolutely not. I'm just being honest. No, it doesn't mean that I'm going to continue or restart going live every week. I will manage my energy concerning that. However, what I will do more of is I will be pre-recording, right? And I'll be dropping like much shorter videos for you to consume. There'll be tips, there'll be things that you can implement to help you. And I can walk you through those in very bite-sized pieces of content, right? And so that will free me up and free up my time because I do want to prepare for you guys, and I do want to bring you like relevant, timely conversations, and those take time and they take preparation. Okay, so that's the first thing. I did postpone the Clock Out Club to launch in the new year, and so you'll see me talking about the Clock Out Club a bit more as well and promoting that. I know for a lot of people, the idea of walking away from a job is daunting. I do get it. I've been in that position. The idea of relying on yourself and in your business is daunting. I do get that. The Clock Out Club, the purpose of the Clock Out Club is not for at the end of 90 days for you to walk away from your job. It's literally for you to have a plan to follow so that you can check off different things so that when you're ready, You step into a situation that has already had systems built. You've already been tracking certain things. You've already taken certain things into consideration. You have already used your employment money, your full-time employment money, to funnel into handling some of the things that you would need to handle from your full-time pay in entrepreneurship. And I promise you that alone makes a world of difference. And in the Clock Out Club, I'm giving you the content that I wish I had. I'm giving you the blueprint and the roadmap that I wish I had, that I wish I had had the ability to sit down with someone and talk to them about. Because when I say sis was unprepared, only the Lord Jesus has sustained me, okay? Particularly in the beginning, because I had some very rough times, the tears, the breakdowns, the did I hear, did I misunderstand, did I make a misstep, this isn't making sense. All the things, the highs and then the lows and the in-betweens, all the things I've experienced, okay? So I got you in the Clock Out Club, okay? That's going to be launching early in the new year with payment plans, or if you want to pay in full, you get bonuses for that, okay? Without further ado, let's get into it. If you just tuned in and you don't know who the heck I am, if you tuned in from the beginning and you still don't know who the heck I am, I'm Shana E. Shana Edgecombe. I am an accredited SME consultant. I am a pricing and positioning strategist. I love to talk pricing. I love to talk to people about how they can start their businesses, how they can grow their businesses, how they can put systems in place, how they can use tools and automations to help build their team. I love things business. Now, I know a lot of times when people hear pricing, they think that I must be great with numbers or I must have an accounting background. Absolutely not. Can I tell you that back in the 10th grade, I did so poorly on a test one time. Was it a test? Anyway, whatever it was, I attempted all the questions. And my teacher was nice enough to put a question mark and a please see me after class instead of a 0. Okay? Now, I was not good at math. But somewhere along the lines, when it came to counting money and things like that, it clicked for me, okay? So if you put down certain things in front of me, most things, I'm not gonna lie to you, where's the calculator? In fact, let me put this in ChatGPT and then it could give me the answer. If you're trying to get me to answer a complicated math question, sometimes even mental math in the moment, and that's my ticket to heaven, I probably ain't gonna make it. I'm letting you know, I'm being very honest with you, okay? I probably will not make it, but I still have a love for pricing for many reasons that I won't go into right now. I have worked with many different entities, whether it be full-time employment, contractual work, whatever it is. I've worked as a facilitator. I've had the ability to and the opportunities to be a facilitator for several programs that worked with MSMEs. I've worked with or for the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, the Inter-American Development Bank, the SBDC Access Accelerator, the Academy of Women Entrepreneurs for the U.S. Embassy, the KIH Canoe Innovation Hub, the Royal Caribbean Kickstarter Program. I'm working with Arrowlink Ventures right now. We are writing a project, creating a project with IDB Lab. So I have an extensive background, right? I'm not new to this at all. I'm not new to working with MSMEs. I'm not new to the plight of MSMEs, okay? And I think that's what actually made me more passionate, is because I have so many different experiences, but I'm also hearing about so many of the same experiences, and I'm seeing a lot of the same trends and mistakes, okay? So without further ado, let's get into it. For those of you who are joining, because I said that I got a disturbing email Let me tell you what the email was about. And yes, I'm going to end up calling the people name because I have to give the complete information. And I'm not calling out in a way that like is denigrating at all. But what I am doing is I am going to tell you the relevance of it to me and you. Okay? Let me just share this out. All right. So when last night, you had to keep me calm, right? I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Okay. I got an email yesterday from BAF, whom I have health insurance with. Okay. And so I know that every year BAF sends an email saying, thank you for renewing. We need you to update your paperwork. And oh, by the way, there's a fee adjustment. And the fee adjustment kicks in at my renewal in December. So of course, my heart doing a little skip, right? And I looked for the price. And the price was a couple dollars shy of $500 per month. And I held my head because I'm saying to myself, so I'd work for y'all then. I'm giving y'all my unfiltered response. So I work for y'all. So I'm literally working to pay my insurance and my bills. And insurance is a big bill because that's the equivalent of some people whole week or two, actually 2 weeks paycheck. That's what I work in to pay y'all. Got it. And mind you, I want to say this, and I'm going to bring it full circle so you understand psychological pricing, okay? And then you understand how it applies to you and your business, and even how it applies to you, period. Now, my insurance was like $480 something already. It only, quote unquote, went up by $20. But what happened is psychologically in my mind, those like $3 or $4 short of $500 made a huge difference to me. I already was like, I really don't like that I'm paying $480 something for this. But now y'all are dangerously close to $500. I'm grateful that it didn't go over $5. But there's something in the human mind that says, when we are that close to a higher number, we either feel like we're winning or we feel some type of shock, right? So I've spoken to you guys before about the fact that for whatever reason, we prefer odd numbers. A lot of humans, I'm not saying every human, psychologically, a lot of us prefer odd numbers, right? We prefer something be $97, $95, $99 because we still feel like we're not paying $100. Now, as the price goes up, sometimes we can be more sensitive. I already told you guys, the insurance really went up like $15 to $20, mind you. But that was a big jump in my mind in terms of psychological pricing. And I want you to notice this or remember this, because sometimes my reaction that I shared with you is the reaction that my clients may have, and it's the reaction that your clients may have when they see your prices. Sometimes they're going to say, boy, that's really close to X amount of money. I don't know if I could do it. But for me, I know the value of health insurance. For you, you need to know the value for your customers or your clients of what it means to purchase from you. This is no knock to anyone, right? No knock to anyone when I say this. As long as I can afford it, or I could make the allowances to afford it, I do not want my health care to be in the hands of GoFundMe. That is the value of what it means to sacrifice and pay that per month for me. So you have to ask the question, what is it worth for your customers, your clients, to use your services, to buy your products, your goods? I want us, especially for those who are newer entrepreneurs, we have to get out of this mindset of thinking that it's all about us, first of all. We have to see things through the eyes of our customers and our clients. We have to see things through their eyes. And you know, it's one of the ways that can help you see through their eyes is when you pay attention to when you are the customer or client. See, because of my experience and how I think, and the fact that I teach you all about pricing, I was able to take a step back after I said, oh, that's a lot of money, even though it really just went up $15. And I said, you know what? Cost of living has gone up. Inflation is a lot. I get it. I guess. What's the cost, Shana, of you not having health insurance? Because there are a lot of people who find themselves in catastrophic situations without insurance. Never thought they would face it. What is it worth it to you? How would you feel if you're in that position one day and you decided off of an emotional decision to stop paying your insurance and to go without it? Now, mind you, y'all, I have NHI. I barely use my insurance. Praise God, I don't have to. I haven't had to really claim. I barely use the NHI. But that's not the point. Insurance understands that, hey, people want a level of protection and they can provide it. But they also understand that it's going to be cost prohibitive, but also they need to make a profit. So I was able to take off my consumer hat, even though it was painful, and I was able to understand how, from a business standpoint, why they needed to do it. So I would tell you, take a step back. If you ever get a shock, right? Take a step back and think about, well, what goes into them setting their prices? Obviously, you don't know everything, right? You wouldn't know all the fine details, especially if you don't work in that organization. But if you as the customer or the whomever has to, look at it from the standpoint of, let's say you go on a car lot and you say, doggone it, this car is $55,000. Okay. Take off the consumer hat, put on the business owner hat. Look up how much it costs to ship, customs, VAT on a vehicle. Look and see how much that model of car costs in the states where it's being shipped from, as an example. Okay? And then think about the fact that these places have staff to pay, they have utility bills, because guess what? If you think that we are paying, that you and I in our households are paying utility bills, particularly electricity, imagine businesses where the AC does not and cannot shut off, like a Super Value. I'm not defending them. Y'all don't slide in my inbox on my WhatsApp. I'm not defending Super Value's prices. But a place like Super Value cannot turn off their electricity. So imagine how heavy that bill is. Going back to the car lot situation, they have staff to pay, they have utilities, they have to pay taxes, they have to make a profit, so many things, to the point where you might be like, yeah, Dred, I understand why that car is 55. I kind of get it. I can't see the full picture, but I can kind of get it. I think what's damaging sometimes is when we make erroneous statements and immediately we think people are trying to kill us with their prices. And we haven't stopped to think, Well, there's more that goes into it than meets the eye. There are people who feel um, like the food industry, for example, especially those places that, let me be careful how I say it, who sell outside of the community, like places that you pull up on the side of the road type places. A lot of people feel like those other places are too expensive and it's highway robbery. But y'all, owning a restaurant is one of the most expensive industries. Running a restaurant is one of the most expensive industries to get into. Why? One, food prices always fluctuating. We barely make anything. We barely supply anything for ourselves to feed ourselves. So we're also having to import all of the food. So we're always subjected. That was correct in my mind. We're always subject to price fluctuations. We're subject to ports coming to a standstill. We're subject to shipping and transportation going up. We are vulnerable to so many things. And then you add on top of the fact that if you have if you have a store, for example, a storefront, your AC has to run. Or your coolers, your freezers have to run. I will never forget, I believe it was Chef Culmer from Tropical Gyro. I remember him calling in to a radio station. I don't remember if it was last year or this year. And he spoke to the fact that his electricity bill per month was 5 figures. You can imagine how much money you have to make as a restaurant that's not selling Grey Cliff prices, that's not selling Latitude prices, that's not selling whatever higher end price. Can you imagine how much they have to sell to just cover electricity? That doesn't include rent, wages, other utilities. That doesn't include the cost of food. It doesn't include profit. None of it. So sometimes when I see some of these prices, I'm like, honestly, I think to myself, boy, I don't know how they're making it. It might feel high to some other people, but in my mind, I'm like, whoo, I know some of the back end of what needs to happen. How are people making it? As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a side hustler, a freelancer, whatever you want to call yourself, let's be less quick to judge each other when it comes to how we price things, because business models change from business to business. You could find one restaurant does something totally different from another restaurant, even if they sell the same or similar things, and they have a reasoning behind that. You may look and say, well, why is this photographer this price and this other photographer is this price? Why is this videographer and this other videographer, they seem to be doing the same things on paper. Why are the prices so very different? And one of the things that we have to remember is, y'all, there's a difference between when someone is working in their business full time and when someone is working a full-time job and they're running their business on the side. The numbers usually look different. I think I shared before, I used to do wedding planning more often, right? And then I semi-retired. Mostly, when I say semi, I'm mostly 90% retired, okay? I come out like once a year, it seems. That's not an indication for you to ask me to come out of retirement in 2025. I'm just saying, giving you context, right? So I remember how much my prices were back then when I had a full-time job. And I remember finding out how much someone else was charging who also had a full-time job, but their price was like, did they have a full-time job still? Or maybe they had just left their job and they were working in a business full-time. That person's prices were 3 or 4 times more than mine. I was pissed. I was mad, hot, okay? Because my work was no different or worse than theirs. But I had set my prices lower, one, at the time, not even thinking that I could go higher. That was a mindset issue. And I tell anyone, I'm big on mindset. I'm big on mindset because a huge part of the reason why we have pricing issues is mindset. It's probably the biggest reason outside of not having enough research available as to how to price. That's probably, in my opinion, the first biggest hurdle. Okay? But I had set my prices because I said, you know what? I have a job. I just do that on the side. It's extra income. It's not costing me anything. So I could do that. But the reality is, I sat down one day and I said, you know, if you want to do this full time, there's no way in the world that you can charge these low prices. I literally, y'all, I've had many hard talk with myself when things click into place. These are the same hard talks that I give y'all. Just letting you know. Like, how many weddings do you have to plan in order to make a living? Versus when I found out how much this person was charging, which was 3 or 4 times my price, that person could take on way less weddings because they were charging so much more. There is no honor in struggling. There's no honor in, there's just no honor in struggling. I am a co-leader of a Bible study at my church. Shout out to Legacy Church. And it's called Faith and Entrepreneurship. So it's for the entrepreneurs in the house. Great small group. Okay. And one of the things that I mentioned in one teaching is, hey, God doesn't give good enough. Good enough is never our portion as children of God. Good enough should never be our standard. But the problem is when we overextend ourselves by being too affordable or cheap, then all we can give a lot of times is good enough because we don't have the energy to give excellence. We don't have the energy to give more. One of the things, and I appreciate this person for telling me this, she said this years ago, and my mind was like, y'all know the emoji with the mind blown? She told me with no uncertain terms, and I love that I have people in my life who are honest with me. She said, you don't make sense. And it's not sustainable for you to have lower tier clients and higher tier clients, and you expect to give both of them the same level of effort and attention. It's not sustainable, and it's unfair for the people who are paying you more. They deserve your best. And what she said was right. It's not to say that the lower tier people don't deserve my best, but I also don't have to prove myself to them. If I want to over deliver, that's because I can and I want to, not because I'm over delivering from a place of fear or a place of having to prove myself. No. I am totally within my rights to do nothing more than what I am contracted to do. So that over here, I could focus on the people who paid me more, so I can even be more inclined to go above and beyond for them. That was for somebody. I don't know who that was for, but that was for someone. Manage your energy. Please. Manage your energy. That is something I can't even say. I wish someone had told me years prior, because I don't think I would have understood it. But now I am at the place of, because I need rest, I have to implement boundaries. Because I need to safeguard myself mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, I have to implement boundaries. I have to manage my energy. If I am unable to, if I am at full capacity, I don't need to explain that to anyone outside of, I'm sorry, I'm not available. I may become available after this date. If you're still in need of that service, we can revisit your need. I just gave you all a canned response, by the way. You could write that down. When I'm done, you could come back and then you could write that down. Okay? That's a canned response. You can get more on ChatGPT. I just said that off the top of my head. Okay? You don't have to explain to people why your energy can't be out, pulsing all the time. You need to have enough energy for yourself. And y'all, this has been clicking to me since the summer, early summer. It's been clicking to me. I think I said before, maybe I haven't. I have a coach, right? I have a personal coach. We work on things that she has either identified, because I thought I was coming up for one thing, and then she was like, oh, no, we need to, there's some other things there. Okay? I have a coach. And one of the things that I didn't realize that I was carrying, well, let me tell you the first thing that I realized I was carrying. One, I grew up in a household where I was taught that if you don't work hard, then you're not working. The expectation is you're going to work hard and you're going to do it to the best of your ability at all times. Hence part of the reason for my perfectionism. Okay? I call myself a reformed perfectionist. For those of you who haven't heard me say that before, I am a reformed perfectionist. I don't claim that, right? But it still pops its head up and rears its ugly head every once in a while. What I did not know that I was holding on to was this belief that if I am not at a certain place in life, I don't deserve rest. If I'm not at a certain place in life, what am I doing taking a nap? What am I doing watching TV? What am I doing not working on my goals? What am I doing not here, there, and everywhere? And when I identified that, when she helped me identify that, I said, oh my gosh, that's problematic. And that revelation came like 3 weeks ago. And so what I've done since then is I've now started watching Netflix. For anyone who knows me outside of social media, I don't really watch TV. I may watch things here and there on YouTube, like Guilty Pleasure, Pop the Balloon. I keep up with the episodes. But other than that, I don't really watch TV. So I barely spend time on TikTok. So that whole Risatisa and falling down the rabbit hole of watching 50 parts of something never happens. Hopefully never happens. Okay? I just scroll on Instagram really quick, blah, 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 and then I'm off. Like I'm a post and leave a lot of the time person on social media. And I said, this has to change. I'm going to get someone's Netflix login, because apparently only like one per whoever pays for Netflix, right? I was like, I'm paying for it. I will get someone's Netflix login and I'm going to start watching Netflix. And I started. I don't do it every day, but I now have cutoff times where I say, you know what? Child, I can't wait till I get in my bed and I can watch Netflix. That's what I look forward to, because it's my rest. That's my time. I light a candle, y'all. I mean, my sleep pattern is a little bit off right now. But even then, my coach recommended meditation to me. And before anyone comes for me, it's not woo woo, la la, crystals, sage, whatever. It's not that at all. It's literally, she gave me a 30-second exercise because it was a preview. I have the longer version. If anyone wants the 5-minute and the 15-minute version of meditation, inbox me, WhatsApp me if you have my number. I'll gladly send it. It works because I was having trouble sleeping. I turned that man voice on, and I don't even know if I got through the first minute or two. My eyes dropped just like that, okay? So in those 30 seconds, the emphasis was on paying attention to my body, shutting my mind down, paying attention to my breathing, paying attention to how the chair feels, how the floor feels, just paying attention to certain things, to sounds. Can I tell you all that by the end of that, I was in complete shock, because that was the first time, and I can't tell you how long, where my brain was actually quiet. I didn't have a thought about anything I was supposed to be doing, what I should be doing. I had no anxiety about where I was supposed to be, what I needed to prepare for. I had nothing pulsing in the background as it usually does. Because as she rightly pointed out to me, part of the reason why I felt tired emotionally and physically was because I always have things running in the background. Anyway, like I said, the meditation was great. Have I used it consistently? No, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'd forgotten about it. And I'd forgotten that my homework, as I like to give y'all homework, she gives me homework. My homework was to do it every morning. But I am going to use it, especially if I have a hard time sleeping. I might even use it for naps because his voice was very effective. It's very soothing. I can't even tell you what he told me. My eye just started drooping right just like that. Okay? So I know I came here and I was talking to you guys about psychological pricing. But as with a lot of things, my conversations take a turn. And then they just end up being about what they are about. Okay? One of the things you have to remember as well, and I keep saying it and I will always keep saying it, is your prices reflect how you value yourself. Your prices reflect how you value yourself. So if you want to be bottom basement cheap, then just make sure it makes sense. I'm not going to speak against that because there is a business model for that. But just understand that your prices need to be a part of your business model. It needs to reflect your business model. Don't be affordable or reasonable because you're afraid. Be affordable and reasonable because, for example, you want to remain accessible to as many people as possible. Be affordable and reasonable because you want to make sure that you help as many people as possible, or you can supply as many people as possible. Not because you are afraid of rejection, not because you're afraid of disappointment, not because you don't have confidence in yourself or what it is that you sell. And if any of those things are present, your prices are too low. Automatically, that's the checklist. Your prices are too low. Remember that you sell something of value. There are people selling gold paper clips. Tiffany is out here selling paper clips. What do people name? Those high-end shoe, like the high-end luxury designers, they're out here selling shoes that look like they've already have toe jam and they're already turning yellow and cracking, but they're brand new, allegedly, and they're selling them and they're selling out. There are people selling what we would consider to be Jones of fashion. I'm not even trying to be funny. It looks like someone who needs to cover themselves, and that's it. And they're selling out. There are people who are selling rocks. okay? And they're just calling it lucky rocks. Or they're saying that they did some, I don't even know the word Reiki, something work over at Sage and the things, and then they're selling it and people are buying them. I came across this Facebook video, I think it's Facebook. This person does virtual massages. You heard me correctly. She is describing touching her clients and they're paying her. So whatever it is you want to do, someone can buy that. Now, it's a matter of getting in front of them. It's a matter of the messaging being correct. It's a matter of positioning and pricing yourself correctly. But someone will buy what you're selling. Psychological pricing is not just about, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, virtual massages. If I find the video, I will send it to you in your inbox. Yes ma'am. Virtual massages. The person lays flat on their bed or whatever surface they have. I saw in the video, it was someone in their bed and they had the whatever device they were using far back enough that you could see their whole body laying on the bed. And the lady's describing what she's doing to them. Okay? So psychological pricing is not just about the numbers. It's about how you make people feel. You know, it's about how your clients want to feel. Y'all ever thought about, and psychological pricing also uses other things, right? Like positioning and all of that. An example of psychological pricing adjacent, right, is, for example, if you ever notice you go into a particular hotel or restaurant or something like that, and there's a scent, there's a fragrance that you always experience. There's there's a something that just makes you feel relaxed. That's why spas, for example, use a certain type of music. They want you to feel calm. So a lot of times it's like Asian music, instrumental. So psychological pricing is called price ending or charm pricing, right? It is highly, highly a marketing strategy. So what I just talked to you about just now was marketing that goes with the strategy. Psychological or charm pricing focuses on the numbers. And then also, I want you to focus on the experience. When you go into a luxury hotel, for example, I think, if I remember, Rosewood does this. There's a smell, there's a fragrance. You just feel luxury. They waft it out through the vents. Okay? A bakery is good at this as well. Sometimes they'll make sure that you can smell all the things. There's this bakery on Carmichael Road. It's called Platinum Pastries. Shout out to them. They're really good. I don't know the owners. This is not a paid promotion, but they're really good. One of the first things they offer you when you go in the door and you're just looking at all the yummy things, which I cannot eat anymore, praise God. Let me take a sip of water right now. Is they offer you samples. They don't even ask, hey, do you want a sample? They say, hey, I'll try this. So what am I supposed to do now? I gone there for other people's stuff. But I mean, they pushing a sample on me, of course. That's why I'm not going in there anytime soon. But they're excellent, okay? Try them out. And I like the customer service as well. These are all the things. These are marketing. Psychological pricing, any type of pricing, marketing goes together. What is your marketing going to look like? You know? One of the things that I would say is, I wish, for example, going back to the insurance that I started out with, I wish that there had been some type of communication that happened 6 weeks before my premium went up. I wish there had been a little bit more communication in terms of explaining why, other than the cost of healthcare is increasing. You could have massaged us a little bit. You could have made us feel a little, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's not just what you do, it's how you do it. And that applies in business as well. A lot of us were taught it's not how you say it, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Remember, that applies to you as a business owner as well. It's not just what you do, it's how you do it. It's not just what you say, but how you say it. One of the easiest ways for you to think about your customer experience, particularly if you are someone who started your business because you saw a need that you experienced yourself and you wanted to fill that need. Okay? So, as an example, the need I filled with my floral business was I felt like a lot of the wedding flowers looked the same, and some of them were old-fashioned. I don't have an old-fashioned style. I don't care for old-fashioned. There are some people who love that. I wanted to provide another alternative. I saw a need. Now, was I getting married? No, but I was getting frustrated with seeing people's photos and videos. Like, that's what you chose? I don't know. There are some of you who you saw a need because you had a need and you couldn't find someone to fulfill that need, or it was difficult to find someone to fulfill that need, or it was hard to find someone to fulfill that need at a certain price point or below a certain price point. So you said, you know what, I'll fulfill that need. And if this is you that I'm talking about, then put yourself back in the shoes of being the consumer. Ask yourself, if I'm the client, how would I like to be interacted with? How would I like to be treated? What would I like the experience to be? How would I trust me? What would I need to see? Ask yourself these critical thinking questions. One of the things that I had that I was able to present, let me back up. Before I get the name wrong, let me look up the name. I did two pricing sessions, maybe about a month ago, with a particular entity. And I want to get the name of the entity correctly because it was their accelerator program that they put on, I believe, annually. And it was for the Guyana Economic Development Trust. Okay, so I spoke to two groups of their entrepreneurs. And one of the things that I walked them through was how to create an ideal client avatar. I didn't walk them through it. Let me not say that. I didn't walk them through it. I showed them mine. And I showed them mine for my floral business for my client. And I was very, very, very specific. I was extremely specific about who I spoke to, about what they look like, about their lifestyle. I asked myself questions. I'm pulling it up right now, and then I'm going to wrap up in a couple minutes, but just to give you an idea. And these are the types of things that when I work one-on-one with people or I have workshops, I show real examples. I'm not just pulling things off the top of my head. I show examples of what I've done, what I've advised other people to do. I show examples of what other people have done that I think can work really well for my clients, okay? So I was very specific about, I'm looking at my persona, who she is, because I'm going after brides, right, for wedding flowers. Who is she? What is she like? What's her age range? What's her education level? What's her income? What's her occupation? Is she a local bride? Is she an international bride? What is she trying to achieve? What is important to her? How does she get her information? What are some of her favorite brands? What is an ideal experience for her? What would be the perfect outcome for her wedding day? What are some of the things that frustrate her when it comes to wedding planning? I ask myself, how can I feel or be high end from start to finish? I don't work with cheap flowers, and I'm not cheap. That's always my disclaimer. What do I need to be for my ideal client to choose me? These are things I ask myself. I even put in, because I'm visual, I put in her style. This is examples of her wedding dress, the types of things that she would choose. This is how she dresses in her everyday life. Okay? I was very detailed. They loved it. I gave an example. Okay? I would implore you, do that if you have not done that yet. And that's not a document that you need to put in your executive summary or your business plan, not in detail. That's a document for you, so that when you're questioning, does a product or service fit this person or these people who I'm going after, go back to that mood board with all that information about your client, and then ask yourself, does it make sense for them? Do they need this service? Would they be interested? If they are interested, how much would they be prepared to pay? Give the low range and the high range. And as much as possible, ask them, right? Because you don't necessarily want to create products and services in a vacuum, and you're not necessarily paying attention to whether or not people want those, okay? So I hope that this was helpful to you, that this was illuminating to you. I hope you found this relevant to you. We're going into a new season. And when I say new season, we're going into January. Okay, I started at the top. It feels like Valentine's is right there. Now, and then hurricane season was right there. And now we're in fall with a little bit of breeze. So you could wrap up in a little, pillow, and not a pillow, a little blanket and a sheet now with the fan on, and some of y'all still using AC. And which means we're almost in Christmas, which means New Year is going to be right there. And I want you guys to be prepared in the new year to start your business, or to launch that new product, or to launch that new service, or to raise your prices, or to get out of your head and do the things that you know you're supposed to do. As usual, I'm here to support you along the way. I don't just have sessions for pricing. I have sessions for several different reasons. I have doubt sessions, which is me dismantling any fear and anxiety and doubts that you have about what you are trying to do or what you are doing. I, of course, have pricing strategy sessions. I have Ask Me Anything sessions. I have ideation sessions. I got you, is my point. I got you. I will drop my link to my services in the comments and in the description box. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but I'm going to drop those things right now. And then you can take a look around. If you see anything that you have questions about, that you may be interested in about, then literally just let me know. If you have a session that you want to do and there's no time that I have available that works with you, by all means, just let me know. And then we can make adjustments. I just try to time block myself so that I'm not having sessions with people every single day, just for the purposes of not losing my mind, okay? And for organization purposes. So I am using TopMate. I am using a new platform. I'm still trying to transition everyone over to that. I really like it. And if you book with me, you'll see why. You'll get WhatsApp reminders and different things. So I really like it. If you are looking for a service, well, and it takes PayPal. It allows me to take PayPal as well, which is one of the few platforms I found that will allow me to use or link my PayPal, and it actually works. So I really like that as well. But it's an all-in-one. It has automations. I'm not sending you an affiliate link or anything. I'm just telling you that I saw someone else use it when I booked a session with her. I really liked it, and so I wanted to try it myself. And so that's what I'm transitioning over to. So anyway, I'll see you next week. I'll probably see you all next week, because the week after that, Sis is on vacation. Sis is on DND. Sis is on Don't Bother Me. Okay? So I probably will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You could have been doing anything else, but you decided to spend some time with me. And for that, I am always grateful. See y'all next time. Peace.